Welcome to Exploring Arizona Life Science Research and Biodiversity with the Tree of Life Web Project. This episode features students in Sally Dover's 5th grade classroom at Santa Cruz School in Tucson, Arizona, interviewing Kim Franklin, a PhD student in the Interdisciplinary Program in Insect Science. In this second segment of discussion with Kim, the focus is on a variety of questions about all sorts of insects. Visit podcasts@toweb.org for learning materials to accompany this episode and to find out how to contribute to the series. Contact me, Lisa Schwartz, at learning@toweb.org with questions and comments.
We did some research on all kinds of insects, and we learned about really cool things. We want to ask some of these things we've been wondering about.
Okay.
How much blood can an insect drink?
Since insects are pretty small, they can't drink that much blood. And so there's just a few kinds of insects that actually drink blood. Mosquitoes, but there's also these bugs called reduviids, and they're a little bit bigger, and I have some here to show you. And they could drink significantly more than a mosquito could drink, but still not very much blood in one day.
Why are bugs so many different colors?
Bugs are so many different colors mostly because they want to look like the plants or the ground surface that they live in, so that other things that want to eat them can't see them. And another reason bugs comes in so many different colors is some of them try and mimic other animals. And so sometimes you see two big circles with yellow circles in the middle on the wings of a butterfly or a moth, and that's to look like eyes, so they would scare birds or other things that were trying to eat them. But mostly they're just trying to hide. That's why there's so many different colors.
Can you tell how old insects are?
For most of the insects you see, you can't tell how old they are. But there's two types of insects. The one kind of insect has a complete metamorphosis. So it's when you see a caterpillar, it's sort of a baby insect. We call it a larva. And then at some point it's going to make a cocoon and become an adult insect. It's going to go through metamorphosis. And for those you can just tell, well, it's a larva or it's adult. But there's another kind of insect, say bugs. When they're little, they have just little tiny wings. And as they get bigger, every time they get bigger in stages, so they don't grow like you do, just constantly getting a little bit taller. They grow in steps. So at one step, the wings get maybe 2 millimeters longer than the next step. They're a little bit longer, and the next step they're a little longer. And you can tell how old they are by looking at the size of their wings to see how developed they are.
A spittlebug covers its eggs with bubbles. Where do the bubbles come from?
The spittlebug creates this goo. It has this substance it creates. It's like a gooey substance, and then it uses its body like a fan and blows air into the goo, and it's like a sticky goo, and so that makes bubbles, and then all these bubbles grow and grow and grow, and then the spittlebug can hide underneath that mass of bubbles so that predators can't see it, and also so that the sun doesn't hit it, so the temperature doesn't change so much for it. It's nice and comfortable under that home of bubbles.
How do fireflies make light?
Fireflies have a special chemical in their abdomens, and they have different chambers with one with an enzyme and with a different chemical. And when they combine those two chemicals, a reaction happens, a chemical reaction, and gives off light, a glowing light.
How do insects attract mates?
Insects attract mates with lots of different ways. A common way is by making noises, like crickets. They're singing a song, and then the female will hear that song and come looking for the male cricket. And there's moths that produce what's called a pheromone, which is like an odor.
Yeah.
And then the female will sense the odor and come looking for it. Or some of them do different displays, dancing displays. And so there's these flies called impetids, and they do this special dance, and the female's watching, and she'll choose a partner. So there's all these different ways that insects can attract mates. It's a super interesting area to study.
What are flies made out of?
Flies are made out of the same kinds of things that other insects are made out of, carbon and nitrogen, and they have, so an insect has its skeleton on the outside of the body, whereas we have our skeletons on the inside. So the outside of the insect is hard. We call it an exoskeleton, and it's made out of something called chitin. And then inside they have muscles just like we have, made out of muscle tissues. Then inside that they have the digestive system, the brain, and all the organs that we have too.